next championship fight with Mr. Ricardo Lopez, Mr. Zolani Petelo, which should be a great fight between two great warriors. Now we have the entrance of Mr. Ricardo Lopez, who is one of the greatest fighters to come out of Mexico.
Well, buddy, you talk about him coming out of Mexico. I mean, this guy is a tremendous fighter. Unfortunately, there are a few people in the world that haven't seen this kid. He's at the tail end of his career right now at age 34. I asked him yesterday how much longer he's going to continue to fight, and he told me that he's just going to take it on a fight-by-fight basis, but he still has tremendous skills. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, and you'll see a couple of things. You see the age of Lopez, 34 to 26. Reach advantages in favor of Zolani Petelo. Also, a little bit of weight advantage for Petelo, and there's also a very distinct height advantage. There you see it for the countries that take it in the metric system, that Petelo has most of the advantages his way. The unified rules of boxing, the 10-point must scoring system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, only the referee can stop the fight, and the fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. So we're set to go. The fighters are in the ring. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by, and as soon as the American Network is set, we will go to our ring announcer and get this one underway. Ricardo Lopez, considered one of the very best pure boxers in the history of boxing. There he is right there. 49-0, 1 draw, 36 KOs. Here's Jimmy.
We present a World Championship attraction coming your way, brought to you courtesy of Don King Productions in association with Madison Square Garden, TVKO, Bally's Atlantic City, Caesars Atlantic City, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation President Hiawatha Knight, Supervisor Mahasan Scott, along with the New York State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Mel Souther. Our physicians at ringside tonight, Dr. Gerald Barlotta, Dr. William Lathan, and Dr. Richard Espico. Our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside: from Harlem, New York, George Colon; from Long Island, New York, Bob Gilson; and from Rivervale, New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. And our referee in charge of this bout, working in this, his 145th and final world title bout, as tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he retires from the ring as one of the all-time great referees. Our 3rd man in the ring, Hall of Fame referee, Arthur Mercanti. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right. He is fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing tiger stripe trunks and hailing from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. He weighed in at 107 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 17 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former world champion, currently ranked the IBF #1 contender, introducing the challenger, Zolani the Tiger Petelo. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with black trim, hailing from Tacubaya, Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. His weight, 107 pounds even. His outstanding record stands at 49 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 36 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is making his 29th world title appearance. Here is the former undisputed mini flyweight champion and the current undefeated IBF junior flyweight champion of the world, introducing Ricardo Finito Lopez. And once again, our referee in charge, Arthur Mercanti, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
Good evening, Ricardo and Zolani. You both received your instructions earlier this evening. Shake hands now and come out boxing at the bell. Good luck.
All right, so referee Arthur McCandy, who is retiring, as you heard Jimmy said, is a tremendous referee. I'm not sure. Arthur will never tell me how old he is, but he's got to be in his mid-70s. And look at the tremendous shape he's in. He can do a better workout than most fighters. Ricardo Lopez, 49-0. One draw, 36 KOs. His 29th world title appearance. Now, Zolani Petelo, who hails from Port Elizabeth in South Africa, you can be sure is an underdog here, in spite of the fact that he's got a 3-inch reach advantage and 4 inches in height advantage over Lopez. He doesn't fight like he's that much bigger because he stays bent over the waist. And Lopez, who does everything technically perfect, stands straight up and holds those hands high. So he's not fighting like a guy who's 4 inches taller. But I will say this for Petelo. In 97, he beat, you just saw Rantana Chai Borpin fight. He beat Rantana Pol, his brother, in 97, who was in the process of defending his then title 16 times when Petelo upset him. In 99, he defeated Eric Jamili in the Philippines in a first-round knockout. In 99, he stopped Juanito Rubila in England, and he beat the very good fighter Mickey Cantwell in his third world title shot. So this kid can fight.
But he's fighting a legend. He's fighting the great Ricardo Lopez. And once Lopez gets his rhythm going, I think that Patelo's going to see that he's been a little bit more than he can shoot tonight.
Well, Ricardo Lopez, if you've heard many of the telecasts that I've done featuring Ricardo on King Vision, I'm just, I couldn't be a bigger fan of this because this kid is just one of the best pure boxers of all time. Maybe the best. I mean, he will test him in his first round. He'll touch him up left. He'll touch him up right. He'll throw the looping right hand and catch him with the left hook. Right now, he's just feeling him out. He's trying to see where he can hit him.
You know, his favorite shot is that left uppercut.
He throws a left uppercut. He'll throw the right with an uppercut motion. He's a terrific fighter. There isn't anything that can be done in the ring that Ricardo Lopez can't do.
That's true.
And remember now, Ricardo's at 34 years of age. He was really in his peak, 28, 29, 30, 31. And he's taking it from fight to fight right now. He's told me as long as he doesn't start to get beaten and start to lose his senses in the ring, he'll know when it's time to hang it up for good. And a quick combination. And right now, he's just testing what he can do. In the second round of the fight, you'll see him pick up the pressure a lot more. At least that's his history. But so far, Petelo hasn't been able to do anything with Ricardo because Ricardo, when he's in front, his head is moving.
Yes.
He does things like you just saw him there. He slips the punch by just moving his trunk back. He moves his head from side to side. His head is never stationary when he's in front of you. He's moving all the time. And he's got his hands up to protect his head when he's coming in. He has very quick hands. And again, in the first round, he does a lot of testing. He'll work the body, he'll work the head, he'll test the jab, he'll throw the right hand, he'll throw the uppercut.
He does it all to see just what he can really get you, what groove he can get you into.
He's so smooth, buddy, that, you know, most people are watching the fight just can't appreciate what he does. As the bell ending the first round. November 17th, live from Mandalay Bay, right here on King Vision, Asim Rahman and Lennox Lewis for the Heavyweight Championship of the World. Don't you miss it. You check our offices in Deerfield Beach in Florida. Make sure that your country is signed up because you don't want to miss this one. The Heavyweight Championship of the World. Right now, we've got the IBF Light Flyweight Championship. That's the 108-pound division. In the United States, a lot of people don't appreciate the little guys, but this kid, Ricardo Lopez in the white trunks, is a guy you've got to appreciate. He's a tremendous fighter. Zolani Petelo, who's been the underdog in many of fights. Oh! Got nailed with a left hook, and down he goes! That's what I told you. This guy will feel his way around. And by the second round, he picks up the pace. He'll take the standing 8 count. It's up to 7. He comes forward. And he was surprised by the brilliant champ, Ricardo Lopez. And Lopez can finish. Is the uppercuts. He wants to finish it right now if he can. This is round 2. Loads up the right hand. Zolani was surprised trying to hang in there, but he needs to grab on and hold this guy, trying to get his head clear. Standing out in the punching area of Ricardo Lopez is not the place to stand. Lopez doesn't panic, though, when he gets the guy in trouble. He knows that if he's done it once, he can do it a second time. Straight right hand gets through. Lopez trying to position himself for either the left hook or the straight right. He goes with a chopping right hand that time. A little bit of a low blow that time, and he just lets him know.
Sign of a great fighter, Colonel.
Oh, yeah, nothing upsets this kid. He's in total command. There's that right hand that gets through again. You know something? Petelo doesn't even see it coming. You know, because he's feinting left, and he's almost causing Petelo to move to his right, and he's wide open for the straight right hand. There's the uppercut. He misses with the left hook.
He got Petelo in his groove now.
Petelo is trying to pick up the pace. He's, you know, if he was cold or anything coming in, he's trying to pick up the pace himself. But he's standing right in front of the great champion Ricardo Lopez, and Lopez just moves the trunk and he makes a miss by just the slightest head movements and body movements, and he lean down and come with that uppercut. He can hit you from any angle. There's the uppercut there, makes him miss again. There's a digging body shot, back upstairs with the left hand, down with the left hand. He does it all, doesn't he, buddy?
Oh, he does. He's a great fighter. He's just slowly chopping down his opponent. Petelo knows that Ricardo has a good left uppercut, but he's forgot all the other punches that Ricardo Lopez has. He has a good arsenal of punches.
That time, Petelo touched him up a couple of times with the right hand on the left side of the head of Ricardo, and Ricardo immediately got that left hand right back up there. And just a slight mental block there for 1 second, but right back up. He holds the hands high. A lot of people call that a European style of fighting. That's not what Lopez does. He holds his hands high, so when he's coming in, a man can't counter him.
Oh, yeah, he's very effective with that. It works for him. You know, everybody has their own style, but he perfected his down to a T.
Inside of 10 seconds to go in the second round. It wasn't one of those knockdowns that had Zolani Petelo on Queer Street where the legs were gone and he was flopping all over the place, but it was an effective shot that took him down.
Yes. But Zolani Petelo showed a lot of heart and courage. He came back and he stood right there with Ricardo Lopez. He didn't try to run or try to hold. He sat there and fought like the champion he is.
One of the big problems coming out of South Africa is getting sparring partners at this size, and then don't forget he was over here for 2 weeks and he was unable to spar for the entire time to keep himself really sharp in the groove. Here's the knockdown, buddy.
Great shot. Just combinations, put them together. He just puts his combinations together, and that's how you catch a guy in your mix.
See that head movement, though, buddy, where we were talking about as he's coming in, he doesn't give the guy the opportunity to land the counter shot when he's right in front of him. We talked about that a fight or so ago, that, you know, when a guy comes straight in like that, if he doesn't have head movement, he's going to get clipped, and we've seen it happen so many times. It doesn't happen to Lopez. And as soon as he was touched a couple of times in the head with the right hand of Zolani Petelo, he immediately got his hand right back up there. He realized he made a mistake. Wasn't a drastic mistake, but he knew that isn't the way he wants to fight this guy.
See, a guy Ricardo Lopez, what I call it is he marinates these guys. He gets them up, he sets them up, he marinates them, and then he puts them to sleep.
Angelo Dundee used to say, you get him drunk and then
mug him.
Get him drunk and mug him.
Oh, Ricardo Lopez does. He marinates these guys, then he puts them to sleep.
This is round number 3. Ricardo Lopez, who was so impressed with, and I don't mean to take anything away from Zolani Petelo because he has done some pretty remarkable things in stopping Cantwell and Rantanapol, Vorapin, and some other terrific fighters, but I'm just so impressed with the ability and the execution of Ricardo Lopez and the things that he does. Even that time when Petelo lands a looping right hand, he catches Lopez out at the end of his punch and Lopez moving away so he doesn't take the full brunt of the punch. And that's not luck. That happens all the time with Lopez. There's a straight right hand. He loaded up the right hand that time. You know, he hits extremely hard for a guy his size. He hits so hard that early in his career he had trouble with his hands. He's had 2 or 3 hand operations because, you know, when you have that kind of power, something has to give, and with his kind of power, His hands were giving.
Yes.
His hands are all right now at this stage of his career. In fact, to my knowledge, he hasn't had any serious hand trouble in a while. Is there a cut over the left eye of Ricardo Lopez? I see blood on his trunks, and the heads may have come together there, and he may be cut.
I think it's from, yeah, he is cut. I think it's right down the middle of his foot, between his eyes.
Now, Lopez was involved in a technical draw one time back in 1998 in a fight in the bull ring in Mexico City against Rosendo Alvarez. And to my knowledge, it's the only serious cut he's had in his career. But that's not in the same area. That was up in more in the eyelid when he was cut before. But it definitely is a cut between the eyes, which had to be, I would assume, from a headbutt.
No, Patelo's been letting that jab kind of effectively.
There's a straight jab got through that time. A little bit of puffiness by the right eye of Ricardo. You see the heads do come together because both of them have a tendency to bend at the trunk quite a bit, especially Zolani Petelo. Petelo digs to the body.
Patelo's showing a lot of heart and a lot of determination.
Well, just hanging in there after being knocked down by Lopez, it shows me heart. And now again, Arthur McKenty says, hey, don't pull him down in the head.
He's not taking a backward step. He's putting pressure on Ricardo.
All right, the bell ends round number 3. That was a pretty good Petelo round. I thought Petelo might have won that round, as a matter of fact.
I feel he won it. He's showing Ricardo Lopez respect, but not enough respect to where he's not sticking to his game plan. And he said yesterday his game plan would be to be in Ricardo Lopez's face.
In the corner with Lopez, Nacho Beristan, Fernando Castellan, Magdaleno Lopez's dad works in there, Raul Duran, and he also has a doctor, and that's who's working on him right now, Miguel Duran, who handles his cuts. Needless to say, the doctor will do that. So Lopez wins the first round. He wins the second round 10-8 with a knockdown, but then Petelo comes back and then officially takes the third round. Let's see what Ricardo does here in the fourth. This is scheduled for 12. Remember, it's the IBF Light Flyweight Championship of the world. That's a 108-pound division.
Patelo's very tough, you know. He's very determined. He said he was going to win the title, and he's showing a lot of determination tonight.
Well, he's hanging in there so far with one of the very best pure boxers in the world today. As Petelo digging the body downstairs. Lopez waiting a little bit here now. His first 2 rounds were textbook, like he always starts a fight where he tests everything in the first round and then makes heavy punches. Now he's looking to land some clean shots, and he doesn't want to get hit. His philosophy is hit and don't get hit. And he told me, especially since he's getting older now, he wants to be sure he doesn't take any punishment in fights. He doesn't want to take any punishment at this stage in his career. Made some nice money. He lives in luxury down in Mexico. There's that straight right hand bounced off the nose of Petelo.
Good uppercut by Ricardo Lopez.
Yeah. And then blood trickles down between the eyes again of Ricardo. Petelo's tough though, isn't he? He comes right in there. He's hanging in there all right with him. Remember, to land shots to this guy is very difficult because of his boxing skills, his defensive skills, as well as the tremendous offensive arsenal that this guy possesses.
Petelo's throwing a straight left hand to Ricardo Lopez's body.
It's been his most effective punch thus far, but he can't get Ricardo to bring his hands down. And Ricardo's got very quick hands, and he's able to pick off shots. He parries punches very well. I don't think you hear enough in boxing about the ability of certain fighters to parry punches. Parry meaning fend off punches as opposed to just blocking them.
Good hook, good hook. Good hook by Ricardo. It was a very good shot. He had him hurt. He hurt Petelo with that shot.
And Arthur McKenty telling Petelo about the low blows. And you're right, you can see the legs a little bit off of Petelo. He did hurt him with the shot. And if it doesn't show in the eyes, it certainly is showing in the legs right now. He's ready. Ricardo lands another big shot, he'll go. And he got clipped pretty good that time, but not real flush, just enough to get him off balance. Ricardo knows he's hurt him.
Yes.
This is the third good right hand. He'll test him to the left, and then you'll see him let go with the right hand. Ducks underneath a wild shot. There's the right hand right there. That right hand is there. He's countering when Petelo comes out with his left hand shot. Ricardo wants to counter it with an overhand right. He sets it up with a left hook or a left uppercut. Watch this. Now he's just touching him up. He's trying to get in position and throw the right hand now. There it is. Bang, bang. He threw it twice.
He's got to put something with it. He's got to put something with it.
Now there's a cut by the right eye of Petelo. Left hook, and there's the bell ending round 4. Oh, Arthur won't be happy with me telling the world that, but by golly, when you look as good as he does, and you can perform the way he does at his age, I'd be proud if I even, well, I didn't look that good when I was 50. Here we go, round number 5. Ricardo Lopez, 49-0 against Zolani Petelo.
He hurt him, too.
It looks like he hurt his ankle a little bit.
No, his shoulder.
His ankle or shoulder? We'll see that. Now that time, you can see what happened. We talked about.
I tell you, he's throwing that right hand. He's marinating him. He's getting ready to stick a fork in him.
Look, he's turning around and they're stepping on the front feet of each other a little bit more now with the southpaw Petelo.
So the left hand's coming.
Petelo keeps coming forward, and Ricardo digs low underneath the elbow that time. He's in a fluid motion right now. He's right in his game plan is Ricardo Lopez. He'd like to take him out in this round if he can, but Zolani Petelo is some kind of tough, I want to tell you, because Lopez has cracked him with some good shots and some pretty good combinations. There's another straight right hand.
Watch the left. Watch the left. He's going to keep throwing right hands and walk right into the left hand.
There's that right hand that didn't quite catch him. And notice how he just ducked and slipped that left hand of Petelo. Petelo's short with his left hand. Ricardo is actually open for a chopping right hand of Petelo, but it doesn't seem to bother him because he wants to get his own right through there. There it is again. Looping right hand by Ricardo Lopez. Now he hangs on and protects himself until Arthur McCandy can separate the two fighters. Misses with the left hand shot, and Lopez makes him pay. Ricardo Lopez in the white trunks. There's that straight right hand that catches high on the cheek of Petelo. Petelo digs downstairs but doesn't hurt Ricardo. Ricardo really digs to the body that time of Petelo, and then comes back upstairs with a hook to the head. Boy, I mean, every time I see Ricardo nail him with a shot, as he just did with the right hand that time, he did 2 left-hand shots, then 2 right hands, one to the body, one to the head. He's trying to break him down, but Petelo's not going easy. There's a light left hook that time, spun the head of Petelo. Petelo hangs right in there. Ricardo bangs him a couple more times with the left hand, and Petelo battles back. Boy, this kid's tough.
Oh, Petelo's tough.
Petelo has got, with his left hand, has nailed Ricardo Lopez on several occasions to the right temporal bone, and he's got the right beside the right eye socket all puffed up of Ricardo Lopez, and Ricardo's cut between the eyes. His face looks a little bit sloppy. Now this is something that you didn't see early in his career, with the sole exception of the Rosendo Alvarez fight when the headbutts caused a bad cut.
Petelo has very good recuperative powers.
Yes, he does. From the 4th round, that was opened up.
Tell you, very good combinations by Ricardo Lopez. He's putting the pressure on, and why he took Petelo to turn his back, we don't know, but we know that it was coming from those combinations he was getting hit with.
All right, here we go, round number 6. Bob Sheridan, Buddy McGurk, Mark Goldberg handling the color, and we'll handle some interviews before the evening's over. The principals in the ring, Ricardo Lopez, the undefeated legendary champion from Mexico.
Petelo has a very awkward style.
Being a southpaw is tough for one thing, but on top of that, he's very awkward and he's extremely tough. He's hanging right in there with one of the very best boxers in the world. And I'm talking about in the history of boxing.
Oh, definitely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, Colonel.
It may not seem like it on television how slick Ricardo Lopez is, because this is a very difficult opponent in Zolani Petelo. And I don't mean to call him an opponent as you would call a setup guy, because this is a tough fighter. And this is for the light flyweight championship of the world, and he's worked hard to get here. But at 17-2-2 with 9 KOs, you can't measure that up with one of the great all-time boxers in the history of the lighter-weight divisions, and Ricardo Lopez.
Ricardo was born too small. Because if he was at a heavier weight, believe me, he would definitely be a super good body shot. Good body shot. Oh, good body shot by Ricardo Lopez.
Look at Lopez doing the job here. Man, look at him. He's all over him. Loading up shots. He wants to end it here. Digs to the body. He's caught him in the head a couple of times.
Great body shot.
And he's got Petelo staggering on his feet. But Petelo somehow or other has maintained his equanimity and has come off the ropes. Lopez is going to be saying to himself, what do I have to do to finish this guy off?
The cut is open pretty bad over Petelo's eye.
Yeah, the blood streaming from the right eye of Petelo. But man, this guy, I don't want to say what he lacks in ability, he picks up in heart, because he doesn't lack a lot of ability. He's got tremendous ability. It's just that it's extraordinary ability that Ricardo Lopez has. There's the right hand. Lopez trying to get a second win here now to try to finish him off with the last 40 seconds of this 6th round. There's a bit of a low blow, and Arthur McKenney will warn Petelo about that. Petelo, boy, it looked like he might be out on his feet in the first part of this round. Has battled back really, really good in this round.
He has good recuperative powers, Connor. Very good.
He has tremendous recuperative powers. You pointed that out a round or two ago, and this is a real good example of it. Is there another cut on Lopez's eye now? There's more blood to the right side of his eye. Or is that blood from Zolani Petelo?
It's a great fight, Connor.
Oh, this is a terrific fight. This is a wonderful fight. We'll have to look at each. We go with round number 7. So while Lopez had that, you saw the replay, the terrific job that he did in almost putting Petelo out in the early going in the 6th round. If it had been a second half that you scored, Petelo won the second half of that round.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And now he's trying to work on Ricardo Lopez. Meanwhile, Ricardo Lopez is cut by his eye in the 6th round, and he's got a bit of a problem.
Petelo's tough. I got to give it to him.
Well, I'll tell you this, since the Rosendo Alvarez fight, I haven't seen Lopez have this kind of difficulty where a guy has hit him so much and where his face has been messed up now. Granted, it might have been from a headbutt, but most likely the heads have come together, but he's landing some shots too, and he's hanging in there. The reason why if the heads are coming together is they both bend over the trunk, and you see them come in with all the head and trunk movement of Lopez. His head comes forward. Sorry, just that time bounce off the shoulder of Petelo, and Petelo keeps his chin tucked and his head down. He's got a split lip, a cut right eye, looping right hand that time. That was a power shot that Petelo was able to gobble up by Ricardo Lopez. Ricardo loads up another right hand.
Petelo comes right back.
You talked a couple of times, buddy, and we mentioned it about the recuperative powers of Petelo. And at age 26, a guy can recuperate better than a guy age 34 that's been in as many tough fights as Lopez, and he's showing it tonight because Lopez is hitting with some vicious shots. Some of the shots that Lopez has nailed this guy with would have ended other fights.
Oh, yes. It's called youth.
And now, how bad that cut is by Ricardo's right eye, I can't tell, but there's a lot of blood there. As I say that, he gets flipped to the left side of his head, and Petelo loads up.
I must say, Colonel Petelo has shown that he's deserving of a title fight, I tell you that.
One thing, you know, as we talked about the age of Lopez, Lopez has had a lot of success lately. He's only gone 3 rounds in the past 22 months. You know, he's in the 7th round now, and at age 34, these are questions that you're going to start asking.
Petelo's starting to give ground.
Ricardo's face is a mess, but he's still landing heavier blows in this round. And you heard Buddy said Zolani Petelo is starting to give ground. He's backing off, but he doesn't back off totally. He's right in there to fight, isn't he, Buddy?
Yes. Maybe he has a plan as part of his plan to make Ricardo lead so he can counter, because he's countering beautiful. But he's making a fight of it.
All right, here we go. This is the 8th round. It's scheduled for 12. The face of Ricardo Lopez is busted up quite a bit. Cut around the right eye, cut between the eyes. Petelo himself cut by the right eye in the 4th round. He was down in the 2nd round. He was really pummeled in the 5th round, but in the 6th round, that's when Ricardo got cut up in the right eye. This is round number 8. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York City. A couple of low blows there. Arthur McCanny tells Ricardo, don't push him down, don't push him down. Patelo's done that a couple of times, and whatever age Arthur is, he's still a good referee. He's in the Hall of Fame, you know, folks, as a non-combatant, and he belongs in there because he's one of the great referees of all time, to be sure. And by the way, it has been confirmed Arthur McCanny is 81 years old, buddy.
God bless him.
You're going to kill me for saying that on the air, but it's okay. I admire him.
Good right hand by Ricardo Lopez. Very good right hand.
2 looping right hands in the left hook, and down he goes. That was kind of a delayed knockdown with a series of 3 punches.
See, I said earlier, Petelo was giving the ground the last round.
2 right hands in the left hand. It's up to 8 and 9. Is he going to get up? It's all over. He had enough. What a surprise. It didn't look like he was hurt. And you know, when I see a fella who's as game as this guy that apparently stays down in these days and he doesn't want to continue, it makes me worry about if there's any internal injuries to the guy. I'm always concerned when I see that.
I think it was just accumulation, the wear and tear.
Yeah, well, it was certainly an accumulation of punches, but he's kind of out of it right now, and I hope this kid is physically okay because he gave all he had. And whenever I see a fighter give more than sometimes I think is humanly possible, I always think of that night in England when Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan battled, and I always thought that McClellan gave more than his body was able to give, which caused him to almost kill himself in the ring. That was a terrific, terrific fight to watch because Petelo made it super, super difficult for one of the greatest boxers of all time in Ricardo Lopez. But, buddy, finally, he was able to catch up with him after a lot of adversity. Right. I mean, this 34-year-old fighter who hasn't had a lot of rounds in recent months really had to work hard to take this guy out.
Well, I think what happened is that, like I said, the last round, Petelo started giving ground. I just think that Ricardo was really starting to get to him.
Well, he was giving ground, and he did get to him, and he wasn't able to continue, and it'll be scored an 8th round KO for Ricardo Lopez, whose record will move to 50-0 now with 37 knockouts. It came at 132 in the 8th round. We'll get all the official particulars from Jimmy Lennon momentarily, but here it is, buddy.
Great fight. They just accumulated right hands were catching the right hand leads. I just think that the accumulation over the rounds just caught up with Petelo, and last round when he started giving ground, I knew something was wrong, and here it was just the left uppercut. It was the finishing touches.
3 really good flush punches, and his eyes appear to be clear. Watch this. Same thing, a different angle, buddy. This is a really hard punch. This is Jimmy Lennon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 32 seconds. In round number 8, our referee in charge, Arthur Mercanti, reaches the count of 10. The winner by way of knockout, still undefeated, and still the IBF Junior Flyweight Champion of the world, Ricardo Finito Lopez.